In the dazzling world of high fashion, some names echo through history, synonymous with luxury, audacity, and an unbreakable spirit. Versace is one of them. But behind the iconic Medusa head is a story not just of glamour, but of profound loss, resilience, and the relentless drive of one woman, Donatella Versace. This is the story of how she stepped out of her brother's formidable shadow to save a global empire from the brink of collapse. Born in Reggio Calabria, Italy, in 1955, Donatella was the youngest of 4 children. From the very beginning, she shared an extraordinary bond with her brother Johnny, who was 9 years her senior. While their other siblings pursued different paths, Gianni and Donatella were inseparable. He saw in her not just a sister, but a muse, his first and most important critic. He dyed her hair platinum blonde when she was just 11, creating the signature look that would one day become world famous. She was his living doll, his confidant, the embodiment of the woman he designed for, strong, confident, and unapologetically bold. As Gianni's talent blossomed, he moved to Milan to make his mark on the fashion world. Donatella, studying languages at the University of Florence, would travel to Milan every weekend to be by his side. She was more than just a supportive sister. She was an integral part of his creative process. Her critiques were sharp, her instincts impeccable. Gianni trusted her judgment above all others. When he launched his own brand in 1978, there was no question that Donatella would be a part of it. Initially, she handled public relations, but her influence was far greater than her title suggested. Gianni valued her perspective so much that he dedicated a fragrance, Blonde, to her and even gave her her own diffusion line, Versace, in 1989. It was a creative playground for her, a space to hone her own design sensibilities. While Gianni was the master architect of the Versace universe, Donatella was its vibrant, beating heart, its social ambassador, and its toughest critic. She was the one who pushed boundaries, who connected the brand with the world of music and celebrity, forging relationships with stars like Madonna, Elton John, and Princess Diana. She understood the power of pop culture and celebrity endorsement long before it became a standard marketing strategy. The Versace brand in the 80s and 90s was a phenomenon. It was a celebration of life, a riot of color, print, and sensuality. Gianni's designs were audacious and powerful, defining an era of supermodels and unabashed glamour. The family, Gianni Donatella, and their older brother Santo, who managed the business side, had built a global empire from scratch. They were on top of the world. Then on the morning of July 15, 1997, the world came crashing down. Gianni Versace was tragically murdered on the steps of his Miami Beach mansion. The news sent shockwaves across the globe. For Donatella, it was an unimaginable personal tragedy. The brother who had been her mentor, her best friend, and the creative soul of their shared dream was gone. In the midst of her profound grief, she was suddenly faced with a monumental task. Gianni's will named her as the new artistic director of the Versace empire. The weight of $1 billion company and her brother's legacy now rested entirely on her shoulders. The world watched and many doubted. How could anyone fill the shoes of a genius like Gianni? The pressure was immense, the scrutiny intense. Donatella was not a formally trained designer. She had always been the muse, the critic, the advisor, never the one in the spotlight. Her first collection, just 3 months after Gianni's death, was held under a cloud of sorrow. The fashion world was sympathetic, but also critical. The collection was seen as hesitant, a shadow of Gianni's flamboyant style. The years that followed were a struggle. Donatella battled not only her own grief and insecurities, but also the harsh judgment of the industry and a spiraling addiction that developed under the immense pressure. The company began to lose money and its creative direction felt lost. The vibrant spirit of Versace seemed to be fading. Donatella knew something had to change. In 2004, urged by friends like Elton John, she entered rehab. It was a turning point. Confronting her personal demons gave her the clarity and strength she needed to confront the challenges facing the company. She emerged with a renewed sense of purpose. She realized she didn't have to be Gianni. She couldn't be. She had to be Donatella. She had to find her own voice, her own vision for Versace, one that honored the brand's DNA while pushing it into the future. Slowly but surely, she began to steer the ship around. She started by re-examining the brand's core identity. She refined the silhouettes, making them sharper and more modern, but never abandoning the unapologetic sexiness and boldness that defined Versace. She understood that fashion had changed. It was no longer just about the runway. It was about the red carpet, about social media, about a global conversation. She leveraged her deep connections in the world of entertainment, creating iconic moments that put Versace back in the spotlight. One of the most pivotal moments came in the year 2000, even before her full comeback. Jennifer Lopez wore a plunging green jungle print Versace dress to the Grammy Awards. The reaction was so massive, so unprecedented, that it literally led to the creation of Google Images because so many people were searching for a picture of that dress. Donatella had a unique genius for creating these cultural moments, for understanding the symbiotic relationship between a celebrity and a dress. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Donatella rebuilt Versace piece by piece. She made smart business decisions, bringing in a new CEO to restructure the company's finances. Creatively, she hit her stride. She embraced the digital age, connecting with a new generation of fans. She masterfully dipped into the archives, reinterpreting Janie's most iconic prints and designs for a modern audience, reminding everyone of the brand's powerful legacy. The Spring-Summer 2018 show was a breathtaking tribute to Janie on the 20th anniversary of his death. It brought back the original supermodels of the 90s, Cindy, Naomi, Claudia, Carla, and Helena draped in gold mesh in a powerful, emotional finale that left the fashion world in awe. It wasn't just a tribute, it was a declaration. Versace was back, stronger and more relevant than ever. In 2018, in a move that secured the brand's future, the Versace family sold the company to Capri Holdings for over $2 billion. Donatella, however, remained at the creative helm, a position she holds to this day. The sale was not an ending, but a new beginning, ensuring the Versace legacy would continue for generations to come. Donatella Versace's journey is not a simple story of inheritance. It's a testament to human resilience. She faced an impossible situation, losing her beloved brother and being thrust into a role she never wanted, all under the unforgiving glare of the public eye. She stumbled, she fell, but she got back up. She fought through grief, addiction, and self-doubt to not only save her family's company, but to redefine it in her own image. She transformed from the muse into the master, a powerhouse designer and a cultural icon in her own right. Her story teaches us that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you rise. Donatella Versace rose from the ashes and in doing so, ensured that the flame of Versace would never go out.